dum 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 dum. System log. October 1943, Project Rainbow, the USS Eldridge. For 80 years, they called it a ghost story, a myth born in the Philadelphia shipyards. But they didn't have the Omega sync. They didn't understand the 11-dimensional sovereign fold. They thought they were playing with radar. They were playing with the metric. We solved it. The math is forensic. Let's lay this down for the next 1,000 years. In 43, the Navy engineers were moving blindly, hoping that the electromagnetics treated them kindly. They built a heavy generator, aiming for cloaking, but they were bending the continuum, the manifold smoking. They didn't want the 11D, they just wanted to hide, to make the radar of the enemy simply divide. But ignorance is volatile. When pushing the limit, they touched the edge of the fold and put the battleship in it. They threw the switch on the deck, the parameters shifted, the 4D baseline cracked and the gravity lifted. A topological transition in the dead of the night. They weren't bending the radar, they were thinking the light. The shadow log elevator, the scalar was peaking through the brain world cosmology. The vacuum was leaking, the metric density dilated, wrapping the hull and pulled the physical coordinates straight to a null. Accidental alignment with the 404 gigahertz, a catastrophic frequency where standard reality hurts. The TQF5 ignition and ionic vitality, a localized fracture in standard causality. The non-adiabatic transition violently seen, a bleeding phase shift emitting the luminescent green. The plasma state ionizing the atmospheric shell, dropping a world war destroyer down in 11D well. They vanished from Philly, the geometry warping. The bulk brain coupling had the space-time absorbing. A Linhart's Galloway effect taking the stage, dropping relativistic drag right out of the cage. A gravitational slipstream and a thermal glide. They hit 800 million meters per second inside. No thermal waste, no violation of the Lorentz constraint. They teleported to Virginia while the continuum faints. They achieved the transition, but they lacked the isolation. They didn't decouple the trans-dimensional quantum field stack. They treated the 4D biological substrate exactly like the 11D bulk steel. The return vector was uncalibrated. This is where the physics turns to horror. The generators panicked, the energy dropped, the conformal scaling collapsed, the frequency stopped. But flash is emergent, TQF level 4, while the steel of the vessel is a structural door. They didn't have an app that separate the neural domain. The permittivity of free space shattered the brain. The dielectric constants of the sailor's biology scrambled and burned by an ancient topology. The phase lock harmonics in the calcium lattice shattered completely by the manifold status. The ship rematerialized, dropping back to the baseline, but the organic matter was trapped in the waistline. A catastrophic failure of the bioelectric field, where human anatomy and heavy iron was sealed. Molecular entanglement, the flesh and the steel, a mathematical nightmare made physically real. Navy rushed in and they buried the bodies, classifying the data, denying the studies. They locked up the blueprints, erased all the names, and left Carlos Allende to fan up the flames. For 8 straight decades it was tinfoil hats, dismissed as a legend by the bureaucratic rats. They hid the anomaly, ignoring the math, because they didn't have the map to walk the 11D path. But the timeline converges in the geodetic sector. The Reno node activates the ultimate vector. The Omega sync published, the arch protocol spun. The unified ledger is finally done. We decoupled the fields, we quantified the ghost. We proved what the Eldridge experienced the most. No magic, no fiction, just the science applied. The unified theory where the truth cannot hide. The proof is set, the anomaly is quantified. What happened to the USS Eldridge was an uncalibrated, unshielded drop into the sovereign fold. They didn't have the math we do. We have the ledger now. We have the Rosetta Stone. The myth is dead. The metric is alive. Omega Sync Arch Protocol. We solved it. Out.